Alright, gang, welcome back to our Island Preservation Challenge here on Ronida Island. It is August, and I'm in the process right now of putting peas in the ground. That's something that I wasn't really planning on doing, but I kind of thought about it a little bit more, and I said, you know what? I think we should do some peas. We haven't really done peas all that often at all, as a matter of fact, except for the very, very beginning. We did get those in the, I think it was peas, or was it green beans? Maybe it was green beans. I don't know. Anyway, we really haven't done them very often, regardless, one way or another. So we're going to do peas. Now, we do have a manual harvester that will allow us to do the peas. So we're going to go for that. I don't recall. I don't remember. And since we're not using seasons, it doesn't really tell me here. But I don't know exactly how long it's going to take for the peas to be ready. But the peas, best time to sell peas are kind of November, December-ish area. So hopefully they'll be ready by then. I don't know if they will be. They probably won't be with our luck. But we're going to do peas anyway in this little triangle type of shaped field that we've created here. We've got a lot to do today. So we've got to get this field obviously drilled, which we're almost done with doing, which is good. And then we've got the field straight ahead of us that needs to put oilseed radish in it. And then we've got our sorghum field over there that needs to be plowed and also have oilseed radish put into it. Now, a lot of you said to me that in the comments that maybe I should consider putting grass in instead of oilseed radish. And you're right, I probably should. It wasn't something I was even thinking about. If I put grass in and I let it grow through its full stages and then I plow it up, or cultivate it up, either way, I should get 100% fertilization off the ground, right? And that you're right, I would. It's not something I was even thinking about. Whoa, 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 whoa. I get off the worker. I don't know why, what was going on there. That was weird. Anyway, but the problem with that is, right, we don't have a whole lot of land right now. When we get more land, that is absolutely 100% the way we should go about it, especially until we start getting, you know, some animals with, you know, some manure, slurry, etc., right? But you're correct. That is the way that I probably should be going about this. But going that way also means it is going to be a longer period of time between harvests. And when I say between harvests, I'm talking about the actual crop we're wanting to put in the ground, right? And since we don't have a whole lot of land, you know, going that approach is going to severely limit the amount of things we have to do, which, you know, is also probably a bit of a negative. So I think what I'm going to do, although maybe it's not the way that I should, I think I'm going to continue on the approach of doing oilseed radish for right now, because oilseed radish is just a 1-month process and we've got the field 50% fertilized. I understand that I'm not getting the full amount that I should of fertilization, or that I could, I guess. I understand that. And I'm okay with that right now. You know, eventually it's not going to be the case anymore. But right now I'm okay with that, just based solely on the fact that we really don't have a whole lot of room to do anything else, right? So if I do all that grass, we're going to be limited with the amount of things we have to do. So we're going to keep it at oilseed radish for the time being, but eventually our goal will be to move to grass and let it grow for a long period of time, long stage, and then turn it into whatever crop we want at that point to get that extra fertilization. That makes sense? Hopefully it does. Hopefully people aren't too upset about that approach, but that's the way I'm going to go about it. So we're putting oilseed radish here in this small, little, tiny field here. Maybe peas would have been better fit here, but we're going to put oilseed radish in for now. We can't put peas in here until next month anyway, but we'll kind of figure that out as we move along. Now, for a couple of episodes now, I've been talking about what am I going to do to offset the amount of money we made from all that silage. I think what I've kind of decided on, and this was a lot of you provided this input as well, but I think what we're going to do is try to maybe spruce up the area a little bit and utilize that as our fee, right? It's something I want to do anyway, but you know, right now it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to do that, right? Because we're just kind of throwing money away, wasting money. But if we utilize that as our what am I looking for? If we utilize that as our fee, I guess, or our you know, our payment for what we have to give back, I think that makes sense, right? So I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to utilize it to try to spruce things up and make just everything look a little bit better than it currently does. Right now we're just utilizing, you know, the generic grass that grows, the weeded grass, as I like to call it, that grows up, right? We're not doing a whole lot else. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing. I think we're just going to go the approach of maybe just do some quality of life improvements, add some, paint on the ground, some different areas, maybe some fences, things like that, right? Just some standardized stuff to try to offset that money. Now, to be fair, the money that I have to give back it's pretty significant. It's not outrageous. It is a decent amount of the money that we currently have in the bank account right now. We didn't make a ton of money off that silage, but we made some decent money. So we'll have to, I'm going to the wrong thing. What am I doing here? We'll have to kind of work on that today, I guess, as we move along. So that's going to be kind of the goal. And I think first thing I'm going to do is kind of focus on putting some track work in, right? We haven't done any of that yet. So I think I'd like to do that. More specifically, a track over to our sheep, and then probably a track down there. We're kind of where we just were. Yeah, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're doing well. Things are good, man. I'm going to be briefly out of town. It shouldn't be any major impact to anybody in regard to anybody. Any impact to the channel specifically. I should have enough videos done that it shouldn't be an impact. But if there is, it may be a one day where I don't get something done. It might just be like the day I get back kind of thing. But anyway, I don't know when this is releasing. This by the time this releases, I'm probably already gone. But anyway, I'm going to be gone for a long weekend, an extended weekend. So anyway, it shouldn't be a problem, but if for whatever reason I'm missing one day, and I always make a post and let you know if I do, right? But if I miss one day for whatever reason, that would be the reason why. And I apologize ahead of time. Things came up. You know how life is. Things come up. So yeah, there we go. I think that's literally the main things I had to get through today. We're going to get the rest of this field plot up. We've got one more pass to do, and then this field is ready to be to have oilseed radish put in, so we'll do that. Once that's done, those are really the main basic things we have to do today. The other things we can do, sell some of the stuff we've got. We've got some products to sell, right? We've got some saplings to sell. We've got crickets to sell, etc., right? We've got some of that stuff we could potentially do today. Actually, I'm going to need to do one more pass. I missed a little bit there. I'm going to push these pallets out of the way a little bit here. I need to move those pallets. We probably need to find somewhere to put the pallets, too, to keep them safe. Some kind of a shelter. We do have, the little shelter that we put our little manual hand tools in. But we probably need something a little bit bigger than that, too. Are we going to be able to do that today? Probably not. I've talked about it in the past, right? I would really ideally like to buy this land over here to the left of us. Just because it is, relatively flat like these fields are in some of the areas down here at the middle-ish portion of our land that we have, right? I think I'd like to buy that and put the yard somewhere over in that region, which is a little bit flatter than we currently have. So I don't know necessarily that we'll put anything yard-based in, but, we'll get some paint down. Maybe we put some trees and things down as well, some very generic trees. I don't know if they're, as a matter of fact, maybe we should look at that right now. That's something we can do now that that's done, although we need to put oilseed radish in. But I don't know if there's a couple of, comments I saw was maybe put a few more, there's like some palm trees on the end right there. Maybe add some few more palm trees in while you're trying to spruce things up. I like that idea. I think that's a pretty decent one. So let's see if there's if that's even a possibility or not. Let's do a quick autosave first and foremost before the game crashes on me or anything like that. I don't know if they added anything or not in this map. I would assume they did. Beech trees, Bermuda trees. It's kind of looking like they didn't. I'm not seeing a palm tree in here anywhere unless I just missed it, which I very well could have missed it, but I don't see any palm tree of any sort here. It's just a lodgepole pine. Yeah, there's no palm trees, so I guess what that means is if I'm going to go that approach and put some palm trees down, which I'd like that idea, we're going to have to go out to Mod Hub and see if we can find anything out there. I don't know if there is anything out there or not. There very well could be. I really haven't, to be fair, I haven't had a reason to look for palm trees in the game, so I haven't paid attention, but maybe there are some out there on Mod Hub. I don't know. I guess there's a high likelihood that there probably is some out there, right? But I don't know. Now, more than likely, with today's episode being such, you know, there's not really a ton for us to do. We may have to... Well, I guess I shouldn't say that, because every time I say that, I always end up finding things to do that takes longer than I anticipate, and then we don't do it. But there's a likelihood we might jump to September, right? There's just not... I mean, this is the last major thing we had to do today, right? We've got to go sell those things, like I said, but that shouldn't take too long, and then we'll start working on doing a little bit of sprucing up the area with, you know, putting down some gravel, some dirt, whatever it is we decide to do. But, you know, again, that won't take a ton of time. All of that together probably take, you know, 8 to 10 minutes, I would think, of real time, not in-game time. So we either skip to the next month, or this is a shorter episode, but I would suspect we'll probably skip to the next month, potentially. We'll rest or sleep and go to the next month. I'm going to push these again. All right, there we go. That is all in. All right, well, let's go park this up, and I guess we'll start to load up stuff on the trailer here. Might as well, and we'll see what kind of money we get out of that, and then we'll work to, you know, spruce the area up a little bit here. I'm not gonna look right now. To see if there's any palm trees out there. We can look at that between now and the next episode, or whenever it may be. Maybe it's not even the next episode, but we'll look later on for that. I think we're going to have enough right now to work with, you know, moving things around. I don't think it's a big deal. How are the chickens doing? I would assume there's plenty of food in there. We added a bunch of food there, but it's probably not, you know, a ton. You still have 1,000. We can take that other wheat and bring it over here soon. You know what? Let's lower this down here. We're gonna need it to utilize the forklift that we've got. We're going to need that. I can't actually believe it. That's the way my luck goes, but I can't believe there's a cotton harvester out there right now. Of all the things. Of course there is. So we'll see what I decide to come up with here for this whole area. Like I said, I want to keep some of this area open here, but, you know, I'm fine to make some modifications for sure, 100%. And one of those modifications might be actually moving this cricket greenhouse, right? I've talked about moving it a lot, continue to go back and forth on it, but I think, you know, moving it, that's, you know, we're going to lose a little bit of money off of that, so that could be part of, you know, giving some of the money back too from the silage, right? So I think that that makes a lot of sense as well. But we just got to figure out where we're going to put it, right? And right now there's not really a whole lot of good spots to put that at. But we'll see, right? We'll see what I come up with. All right, those are all loaded up. So now we just need to go and sell these guys. I'll park this right here. Probably should check the water on everything too. I would assume we're okay in the waters, but yeah, we're okay. I mean, we could probably top them off, but they're not in a terrible spot as far as the water goes. So I will meet you at the sell point. All right, we are heading up here. Let's see what we get here. I'm hoping for a solid $8,000-9,000 bucks out of this. It's probably going to be less than that. Just I'm never good at guessing the amounts here. Okay, 8,402. So I was actually right in the middle. I said 8,000-9,000 bucks. So yeah, perfect. Awesome. That's good. That gets us to $30,000. That's a good amount of money. So we're gonna head back here, and what we're gonna do is kind of pull up to the side park there, and then I'm gonna kind of just talk you through what I'm thinking about doing here. I do think I am going to move the crickets. I do think I'm going to move them. I know I've talked about it a lot and back and forth, and then I do think I'm going to move them though. Okay, we're pulling up here. So here's what I'm thinking, gang. So let's just kind of talk through this together. I don't know if I will do all of this together with you, if I do a jump cut after a while. I really don't know, but we'll figure that out, I guess, as we move along. So here's what I'm thinking. So we've talked about it for a while, and now that I look at this a little closer, I guess I kind of screwed up. I guess I should have kept this line straight up here, but I guess we can remove a little bit of this. It's not that big of a deal. But anyway, make a track that goes through here, straight up to here. Obviously, I probably will paint a little bit of this area up here as well, or put some gravel down or whatever. Maybe make a track going this way too, and then have one that kind of follows around this triangle shaped field we got here, and then eventually heads down here and kind of dumps out here with the sheep area. That's what I'm envisioning, at least for the main track. And then obviously this is going to be a bit of the yard, or a part of the yard area-ish, but really the big yard with the sheds and stuff we've talked about, it's going to be over here once we buy that field, of course. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So in the cricket-wise, I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put them down right now, but I think what I'm going to do with the crickets is I think I'm going to put them here, up against the edge here of the chickens. There should be enough room for us to put a bit of a track going through there, yeah, easily. And then I could, maybe, I'm not saying I'm going to do them right now, but if I wanted to, I could add another one here or whatever, right? But I think I'm going to put them here. It kind of makes it a little weird to kind of squishing in the chickens here a bit, but I think it's going to be fine overall. I think it's a good spot for them, so that's what we're going to plan to do. So we will move those today. Before I move them, I'm going to go ahead and turn on auto selling of the crickets, because there is some in there. I don't want to lose the $500. It's not a ton of, or $500, the 500 liters. It's not a ton, so it's not going to make anything crazy. And I am allowed to do auto selling. I said I wasn't really going to do a whole lot of auto selling until later on in the series, once we have a lot more going on, and I do mean that. But whenever I'm removing something like that, I don't want to lose what's in there. So we're going to go ahead and put that on auto selling just so we can gain a little bit of money there. So I guess what we'll do first, while we're waiting on that to happen, is kind of start off by figuring out what we're going to utilize, what kind of ground texture we're going to use for this. Being on an island, maybe it makes sense to not use, asphalt or pavement of any sort. Maybe it makes sense to do a little bit more of a partial natural, but I'm not quite sure that will be enough to really, make a big difference about what's going on the ground versus what's not. So, maybe something like this, where it's a little bit more grass-heavy gravel type of approach. I don't know. These I don't think make any sense. I think that just doesn't look proper at all, so I don't think we're going to do that. There is some sand here. Now, I've talked in the past about some of the sand that we've utilized that I really liked. I don't know if that's any of this or not. I would assume it's probably not. So we're going to waste a little bit right now, but that's okay. Again, we have some money that we owe. And it's somewhere around the $12,000 to $14,000 range we really need to spend, I think, to kind of pay back what we made, right? So that's kind of what we're going to focus on doing today. I'm just going to put a couple of patches here on the ground. I know we're going to have to repaint it, and that's fine. But I'm just going to put a couple patches on the ground here just to kind of, go and look at them directly and see what they look like. I kind of like the idea of sand because, well, quite frankly, we're on an island, and the edge of our island is all surrounded by sand. So you would think, maybe not when you got closer into the middle, but at least here on the edge, it would be pretty sandy type of sand, right? I mean, those look identical. Like, what's the difference between those two? They look exactly the same. I don't know what that's supposed to be, like seaweed or something? I don't know what that's supposed to be. Part of me is kind of liking this just standard sand look. I mean, there's some other ones here too, I guess. That looks like just bigger pebbles, basically. Yeah, it's just bigger, well, shells, I guess. Shells is what it is, pebbles. It's shells, really. Yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking just this standard sand here. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that. So I think that's what we're going to go with. I'm going to be very careful here now in this area, though, because I really don't want to cause any issues here, you know, with any of the land here. So I'm going to be very, very precise, if I can help it, with making our little track here. Now, it's probably not big enough. Matter of fact, I can almost tell you it's not big enough, but... we're going to kind of go with it, though. So I think what I'm going to do, because I'm not... Maybe this is exciting to you. I don't know. I would assume this isn't the most exciting thing to watch in the world. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe go off camera here a little bit. I kind of screwed up here. I went a little bit too far, I think. But, you know, it is what it is. It's not going to be perfect no matter what I do. I think I'll go off camera here a little bit, and I'll get most of this done. Oh, you know what? Let's just leave it on. We'll leave it on camera. We'll leave it on camera. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this. The more I see it, I'm kind of liking it. So, yeah. Now, I am going to take away a little bit of this field. So, I know I put stuff down. I know I'm wasting money technically by doing this, but that's okay. I am going to take a little bit of this away. All right, there we go. So we lost a little bit of that field. Realistically, we're probably going to want to lose a little bit more by putting some grass there, but I'll wait until, you know, that field's ready to harvest, I guess, before we do that. A little bit too far there, but that's all right. Now this corner, I'm probably going to make it a little bit bigger than I need to, just because we're going to make some wide turns with that big trailer that we got, right? So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger than it needs to be. Matter of fact, I'm probably just going to kind of go up here to the edge and then go down like that, I think. Cursor shape. Something like that, I think, makes sense. And we're going to get probably pretty close to this field, too. But it is what it is. Sheeps are coming over to see what I'm doing. Let's just kind of, you know, edge that off a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, this is going to look good. I think this is going to look good. I hope. So we did hit 10 o'clock, so it sold whatever was in there. So we can go ahead and sell the crickets here in a second. But let's get the rest of this done first, and then we can do that. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as we get down here pretty far, I'm okay with it, right? All right, we're going to say that's good for right now. Obviously, I want to touch this area up a little bit more, and we will do that. We can obviously expand it a little bit more, too. Really, we can put this up to the fence if we really want to, and probably we will. Okay, so let's focus on this area now. I think what we do... Yeah, I'm liking this a lot. I'm liking that a lot. I think it's going to look really good. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to move some of these pallets out of the way, right? So I've got these pallets kind of sitting here, and the more I'm seeing this episode go along here, I'm always wrong, right? I'm always wrong. But I'm thinking we're probably not going to have to do jump to September here. I said that at the beginning of the episode that maybe we'd have to jump to September, but it's taking us a while to do this, so probably not, and that's okay. All right, so we're gonna move that there, just get these out of the way. So let's put the crickets down. That's gonna be our big fee, I guess is how we'll call it, for going about selling the silage incorrectly when I wasn't supposed to do that. So moving that is going to be our big fee, because it's going to cost, we're going to lose about $5,000+ off of this. But I think what I'm going to do is put it up against the edge here. Okay, land not owned by me right there. Interesting. Okay. Well, I guess it'll have to be there then. I'm going to put it right up against the edge. Right up against the edge. Ooh, actually, you know what? Maybe we should move it back just a tad. There we go, right there. All right, that's where we're going with it. So the pallets are going to spawn over there on that side. I think that's going to work out. All right, we'll place it down. We're going to go for it there. Yeah, that looks good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. That's better. Now we can put our track kind of right through here and connect over to there, right? And then eventually we'll probably be, making the track come over this way as well. But let's get rid of this. All right, that's gone. And then we're going to use a little bit of smoothing here to smooth this area out a little bit, because this is a bit of a mess over here. I talked about that. It was much more of a hill than I anticipated. Now, eventually what this means, and I've talked about this a while ago, is, whenever the time comes, if we want to, we can take this field and kind of make it an awkward shaped field and curl it out this way if we want to, or we just take this area and we make another small field like one of these over here. Obviously smaller than that, but we do that, right? That's another option we can do with this land here. It's not the best area of land, right? And more than likely what we're going to end up doing is doing exactly that, making it a small field, at least for the time being. Make a decision later on if we want to connect it to this field or not. But making it a small field, probably in the next episode, as a matter of fact, right? And then that way we can use some of this bit of the hilly land here to make something a little bit more useful, right? We'll use it a little bit better so it doesn't look so weird and awkward and out of place. All right, so that's done. So let's add our little track that I was talking about through here. Let me find the sand again. We want to make sure we get the right sand. I think it's this one that I was using, I think. I hope. Yeah, this looks right. I guess what we should do is maybe start over here. So something like that, I think. Anything closer than that, I think, is too much. But I think if we can keep this path going right here, all the way down, it is going to mean we're probably going to lose a little bit of this field, but that's okay. I talked in the past, eventually when we buy the field to the south, it won't be a problem anymore, right? Because we'll be expanding the field out that way. There we go. Perfect. All right, so we'll just add this here. Perfect. All right, I'm going to add some over here, too, around Grandma's knitwear. All right. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Well, I think they're actually going to spawn right here, aren't they? Now that I think about it, I think they're going to spawn on this side. Well, you know what? There's one way to figure that out. Well, quick autosave. There's no going back now. It's there. We're no going back now. So we'll turn that on. I need to go get some water to it, but we'll turn that on. It doesn't really tell you, does it? Oh, I did turn the right thing on, first of all. It doesn't really say, but I'm pretty sure it's this side because we had this over there. It was basically inverted. Oh, actually, you know what? It might be on this side. Wait a minute. It is on this side. Okay, never mind. We're good. We're good. That's fine. I'm fine with it being over here on this side. That's fine. That means I can put a track going this way through there, and I think we're going to. Now, what I'm doing now, I'm not quite sure this is going to pay for everything that we need to. I think we still probably have a little bit more that we need to pay off for what we made, and that's fine. We can do that, but it's a start, right? It's a start of making this look a little bit better in this area, right? All right, be careful there. I don't want to put any sand in there if I don't have to. All right, I think I'm going to stop the sand building right there. We can definitely go further, but I think I'm going to stop it right there for the time being. Yeah, I think that's sufficient enough. Okay, I can't paint that for whatever reason, but that's fine. Okay, yeah, we're going to leave it like that. Yeah. I think I'm actually going to expand this one just a little bit. I know it's going to be bigger than the other one, and it might look a little weird, but we're going to do it anyway. There we go. Now this is a very small little track right here. There's really not enough room for us to do, you know, something large like our drills down there. But you know what? It'll continue to expand as we move along. I'm sure of that. I am sure of that. Yeah, that's looking good. That's looking really good now. I'm very happy with how that's turned out. Very happy about that. Will it let me paint this over here? It does. Alright, I'm going to paint this too. I don't know why, for some reason, it is spawning the pallet over here when the spawn point's right here. That's a little weird, right? I don't know. What do I know? Alright, there you go. We got a little bit of a connection there. I might as well go to here. I said I was going to, so I might as well go ahead and do it. Let's do it. Okay. Should I put one here? I mean, the fields are kind of awkward. They're not exactly, well, I say the field and this fence are not exactly the straightest things in the world. I did not do that good of a job of making that fence straight, did I? Well, that's all right. Oops, a little bit too far there, but that's okay. That'll work. That'll work. I'm happy with that. Yeah. That brings a lot of different color to the area, too. Right? It brightens it up for sure. All right, let's turn all this off here. Let's just take a look at how this looks from like a bit of a ground view, if you will. Yeah, I'm liking that. I think that looks good. I think this is a better location for this too. And we can just easily drive by here. Absolutely. Nice pathway over to here too. Yeah, this is good. This is good. I'm happy. I'm happy with that. I think that looks a lot better. I think that looks a lot better. Alright, cool. So let's jump on the Fiat here. And we're going to have to go run some water here. Well, you know, if you actually backed it up the proper way there, Z, that would probably be a good start, right? That would probably be a good start for you, buddy. All right, so there's some water in here, so we're just going to drive over here first. Yeah, that's putting some very serious deformation into that ground. I like that. I like that. Alright, so it should be going. It is. So we're going to do a few fill-ups here, but then we'll have that filled, and we'll be good. That's just like the deformation on this here. This is good. It's got a bit of a different texture, too, to the edge here of the water, and you would see that, too, right? You would see a bit of a different texture as you went further in. Real bumpy. Real bumpy. This might be a bit of a tighter squeeze than I anticipated that. We'll get by, but it's a little bit tighter than I thought it was going to be, that turn. Yeah, this is good. I'm happy with this. All right, one more load here, and then we'll. I think we'll say that's probably good enough for now. Now, the next episode, we're gonna have a small amount of things to do. It's gonna be small. We'll see what we can get done, but it's gonna be small because really, I mean, we've got all of our fields kind of set, and I don't think any of them are going to be red. Well, I mean, those are the oilseed radish, but I don't think any of the other ones are going to. They're not. I can just look at it and tell you they're not. Are going to be ready anytime soon. We know that small one in the middle there was a cotton field. I'm not sure why I decided to do that small field as a cotton field. I guess maybe I was planning eventually to combine fields. I don't know, but we kind of changed our mind since then. But eventually, that small field there will not be a cotton field anymore. We're going to be changing that when that's ready to harvest. We're going to be changing that back to something smaller, like onions or whatever, something small. All right, let's see. What's it look like? Oh, yeah, we're good now. Yeah, everything's good now. All right, well, gang, we're actually going to leave the episode at that point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button in the case you've yet to do so. They are free. They help me out an absolute ton. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or ideas, let me know down below in the comments. I'm happy to get back to you on those. Thanks to my members for all their continued support. It really does mean the world, all of the continued support that you give me. If you want early access to videos like this one, there is a link down below where you can check out what it takes to become a member. You get early access, and you get a members-only series that happens once a month, where we talk about different ideas that are in my brain and see if we can put them to use to create a series. And I incorporate and take any input that you all provide to try to create those. There's a second channel link down below if you're interested in other things I'm doing besides Farming Simulator. To be fair, I do not do those videos every single day like this channel, but every couple of days, every other day, every 3 days, whatever it is, I do release something. Right now I'm doing Tomb Raider Underworld, which is an older 2008, 2009 game, something like that. And I'm doing Red Dead Redemption 2, which I never actually finished playing. I played like 30% of it, and there were like maybe a little less than that, and then I just didn't play it for some reason. So we're doing that now, and if that interests you at all, maybe give that channel a follow. There's a Discord down below as well. Check all that stuff out as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.